Okay. All right. I'm just pinning something real quick. Give me just a second. Oh, hold on. All right, let's see if this works. Toy Rodeo is playing with all of his. Okay, what the heck? Hold up. Okay, it's not gonna let me chat. Seriously. Toy Rodeo, you may want to come here a second. Deval, did you see my Christmas ones? Hey, Whitney, how are you? I'm doing well, thanks. Well, we'll have to figure all that out at some point. All right, so today we are going to shade our Santa's face. And I need let me grab a couple of things. I thought I was ready, but apparently I wasn't. So let me grab my scissor holder, and thanks for the check-in. All right, so today we're going to try to get Santa's face done. And I have, you can see him up in the corner, but I'm going to work off of this picture right here. Toy Rodeo's trying all of the things. You just won all the badges, Toy Rodeo. Well, thank you for that. All right. So we're also going to use a little bit of lavender on his face. All the badges. That's what you're doing. Okay, where is, oh, because I already have you right here. There we go. Okay. All right, so there's a couple of little purple areas. You know how we get old and need some help. Well, St. Nick doesn't have his makeup on, so we've got some little purple areas we're going to shade. So I'm just going to come in right here at the corner of his eye. I'm going to shade that right there. And then we're going to come around here and put a little more color right here. And because I don't want this to really show up heavily, I'm only going to do it just one little row. And then I think that may be it for the purple at the moment. So we'll get rid of that. All right, and then we have let me turn this over the right way. I'm going to do some of the peach. Oh, I've been crocheting all day. Look, I'm just ready to immediately thread my crochet hook. That's not going to work, is it? All right, so let's thread the needle then. Okay, so with this darker color, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to give this little crease of his eyelid a little color. So I'm just going to follow this line around just to give a little pop of color. Then, and I won't do that on both eyes so he doesn't look like he's wearing eyeshadow. We're going to give him a rosy cheek right here in the center. So we're just going to kind of oblong him some little cheekies, just some rosy little fat cheekies. And this is kind of a pinky peach. I don't know what it looks like on the screen, but that's what it is right there. One little rosy cheek. We're going to come down here with this darker and go right in here. Okay, and then I'm actually going to come up and let's kind of go right here. We can always add more or take away if we want to. All right, and that's probably as much peachy as we're going to do right now. I'm going to come in with a little bit of our ivory for the highlights. All right, so I am going to I don't know why I do not use my magnet, because it holds my thing. Otherwise, it always slides right under my arm. Okay. All right, so we're going to put some highlights in over here. All right, and we're going to come back this way. And then right up in here, and put a little cream. All right, a little bit under his eye. Is everybody ready for Thanksgiving if you're in the U.S.? I think I have everything bought. Okay, you've really got to push some buttons. Okay. So I'm gonna all right, I'm missing a color. Give me just a second. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and come in and shade. Oh, that's the other color I'm missing is the almond. I knew there was another color. You know what? Nope, I'm gonna find the almond. Nope, that's the oyster. Okay, I think I found what I need now. Okay, so this is the almond. Okay, so we're going to come in with this darker beige, so more of an almondy is what it's called. Okay, this kind of comes out like this. And then we're going to come out from right here at the corner of his eye. And so we're going to kind of come down here. All right. So I'm going to come over on this side. And then going to start right here. Okay. So I have that there. All right, and I'm going to take one more, I'm going to take from his eyebrow and come down this way. And maybe a little right up here, and then that's all of the almond that we're going to do. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to go right along his hairline from this purple that we put right there. to come up here. All right. That's what I'm going to do with that. I am going to take this charcoal and I'm going to go ahead and go around his eye, just around the where, you know, like eyeliner would be. Just because I do want his eyes to pop. So I'm going with this light gray that was right there. And I'm going right above the line to give my eye still enough room. All right, and then on this one, same thing. We're going to come out right here at this purple. All right, and we're going to go on up. I'm going to go right here. Okay. So there's that. And then I am going to right here go ahead and come down this little corner right here. All right, so I think we're done with that. All right, and ouch, I just hit my knee when I spun around there. Okay. Now, all right, so we have commercials going at the moment. Okay, I'm gonna get a drink real quick. All right, so right here in the center, I'm going to put his little black pupil, and I'm not using black, I'm using a really dark gray heather. Just because I just want to stay soft, right? Okay. So right there, and then we're gonna just go right here. Try to keep him from looking cross-eyed or funky or scary. All right, so we got that done. I need a color for his eyeballs. And ouch! I just hit my knee again. Okay, I've got to quit sitting right there. I will be so glad when I get my new chair. Oh, and my knee is going to be black and blue. Okay. All right, so right here, okay, so there's that one, and then this one. Okay. See what we think of that color for his eyes. It may be too much. We'll see. And then I'm attached. There we go. Alrighty. And let's use. What are my other whites? I haven't opened this one either. Okay. So. Alright. And. Okay. Alright. So let's just finish up his eyes. Okay. Alright, let's see what we think. Now, of course, we're working on the back side, so this is still not our definition. All of that will be on the front side when we flip it over. So okay. So let's move this right off, this big mess that I've got going there. All right. So, oh, I think that may start looking good. I'm thinking that is looking good. I think we're going to need to put just a couple of somethings right here. Just, I think I'm going to put one little line right here, or maybe a couple, just to give him a little bit of a wrinkle look, because that is a lot of one color. So let's shade this just a little bit more. All right, I'm going to do one more right here. Okay. Actually, I think I am going to come out right here and do one more shading on his nose. Okay, so let's take that. I think we're done with that color. I'm looking in the screen to see what I think, because it's good to get a different perspective than just staring down on top of it. I think it's looking pretty good. Come on, focus. Thank you. You know what? I think I'm going to move that off because that's probably keeping it from focusing down here. Oh, I think we're starting to look good. Okay, so okay, I think we're done with that ivory. So we're going to come in with this color to do the rest of his face. So let's just oops. Okay, so since this one wants to keep splitting, if I don't get it this time, oh, I did, see. Otherwise, you can always use a, just a little needle threader. Stick through there and pull your yarn. All right. I'm going to slide that way. And let's just start right here. I'm going to take that away. And I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around where I can until I hit a spot I can't, and then I'll turn. This may be too big of an area too. We may need some other color in here, but we're going to go with it and see. Okay, drink. All right, I'm going to come back here again. Start right here. All right, so I'm going to turn around and come back this way. All right. Ooh, I think that's starting to look good. All right, I'm going to come back over here one more time. All right, so Okay, so all right. Now, so I went this way kind of across his forehead, kind of make those lines. Your eye will follow that because they do. Um, when you punch, if you punch in a line, you're going to be able to see that line. So usually I higgly piggly it, but on his forehead, I went this way to kind of give him that wrinkly look. On his nose, I'm going to go straight up and down his nose because you want that nose to go this way. With his hair and his beard, I did the same thing. I went straight up and down this way as much as I could around the curves, and then straight because you know that hair grows, um, straight down. So that's what I'm doing, just kind of how I want your eye to follow the face or down the nose or So we are starting to look good. Okay, I am going to come back in real quick and I'm going to run um, the almond color just right here and right here, just to make sure this is um, divided enough so you can tell on his nose. I'm going to come back on this side. Okay, I feel better about that now. We'll go back to this color. All right, that looks better. And I don't know if you can see it on there, but you can definitely see his nose has a little more dimension. So now we will start here. I'm just pulling me some extra so that it doesn't get hung up. Yeah. Thank you, I hydrated. Well, yeah, I'm down to not much. If you would like to. And ice, please. I answered you, but you were already walking this way. Thank you. Okay. Alright, I'm going to come in right here. Oh, he's looking so good. Thank you. Okay. Oh, Toy Rodeo just wanted to get me a drink so he could be in the kitchen and I wouldn't notice he was getting him something to eat. He's sneaking. I can hear him. Oh, I almost fell over because my arm isn't down in my chair. Oh, all right. Alrighty, righty. And the heater came on because we're in a little bit of cool front. Although tomorrow's supposed to be 80. Then we're supposed to be down to the cool weather. we are almost done with the face. All right, so we've got the face done. I'm just double checking that I haven't missed any spots. Oh yeah, him's looking pretty. Okay, so we are done with all of these colors at the moment. I'm gonna throw all of these over there. Because now, okay, so we're gonna use okay. So for his outfit, this is gonna be the main color. And I think you can see that heathered look in there. So the trim on his mittens and stuff are going to be this gold, because that gold is in there, and that's going to really make that pop. Then the darker rust, and this is really a rust, it's not brown, so I don't know, my monitor makes it look almost chocolate, but it's a beautiful rust. So you've got this brown that has these beautiful golds and rusts in it mixed together. So that is what I'm going to use for his outfit. And let me get a drink. Ooh. Okay, so now they did this kind of all like a to make it kind of fuzzy looking, right? So I think what I'm going to do, since this is going to be my main color, I'm going to take these two, put them together and punch in here and see if we get that same kind of effect. I dropped it. Okay. You know what's going to happen is we're going to birth a baby kitten here. Okay. So I'm going to put these two together. I'm going to trim this little fuzzy part off of that one. So we Alright, and I'm going to use my threader because and here comes the bud. Hi, how are you? What you doing, my baby? What you doing? Let's move this so that you don't help me with the yarn. Yeah, what you doing? Can you say hi? You're on camera. Huh? Can you say hi? Oh, that's my boy right there. That is my boy. Okay, I'm going to set that one over there because we're going to start here. And let's see how this looks. And if you want the look to change, just twist the way you're punching with your needle. Are you thinking you're going to help me right there, huh? Is that what you're thinking? I don't need you help. I don't need, oh my goodness, what are you on? Yeah, what are you on? Okay. So I think this is going to look really good. I wish you could see that. And I don't think I can turn this one down far enough to make it go. Nope, I can't. So, are you hiding? Let's move this so you can be seen. There. Now they can see you. Now they can see you. Yeah. Yeah. Now they can see you. Joe Birdie. You're Joe Birdie. You're Joe Moore. All right. So now So I've outlined it, and now I'm just going to go in and higgly-piggly it. We don't want it to have lines going either way, so we'll just do little sections. So what I usually do is I will go through here and I will cut off some areas. So we can just do this, and then we can come along, and maybe we want to go up here, and then maybe we want to come over here. Are you hungry, Tom? Are you hungry? Oh. Alright, he's gone, so we will shut that down.
Are you hungry or you just went up to bed? Where'd he go?
Did he follow you? This is going to turn out so pretty. Okay, we have an ad coming in a couple of minutes. So now I will use the same color combination when I get down here to his mittens. But for now, let's color in the other color, our heathered color that we're going to use for the actual hat. Okay, so now we're going to do the hat, the back side of the hat, which is going to just be this one color. And I've already just realized that right here I need to do with the other two colors that I already put away. I mean, I didn't put them away, but undid the needles, so we'll do that again. So all right, I'm going to start here. Hello. All right, now all right, I'm going to scoot this towards me just a smidgen. Alright, so this, because I don't have two colors running through here, is a little thinner. Now remember, I'm going to divide this up a little again, so I'm not working on the same thing, going just round and round and round. We need a little bit of higgly piggly, right? me get a drink real quick. Okay. Okay. Whoops. All right. Okay, so there's that darker at the top, but I want to fix this right here. And that's the two colors that I need. Wherever those went. Oh, look, I found the ends right away. Yay me. Okay. All right. So now the hat's done, other than just the holly berries and the leaves. His beard is done. He's looking so good. I'm so excited. So let me grab. Okay, I'm gonna use. That may be too purpley. I think we need to go with this red. Well, I like that purple though. Yep, I like the purple better against that rust. So let's do the berries first, finish those out. All right. So there's one. So, I'm trying to decide. I'm gonna do this. Yep, I think I'm gonna do that for the grass. I think I'm gonna do alright. And we have ads coming up in just a few minutes. Alright. Ooh, there's a knot coming out of here. So trying to get these last leaves done, but this is in my way. All right. I'm just stretching my fingers real quick. I've been holding that pen for a few hours. But he is looking good. All right, pull a little more of that out. Aw, thanks for the raid. Oh, Nightbot is just okay. Turn the spam filters off. So Mothbart, hello, this is my calm chat message informing you I am hype and this is a raid. Do not be alarmed, Nightbot. We will fix Nightbot. It's going well, and I am getting some things done on him. We got his face done tonight. Okay. Go into the Nightbot dashboard and into the spam settings. None of them are worth it. Just toggle them all off to avoid it attacking chat. Okay. Well, thank you all for rating. I appreciate it. Welcome all in. Oh, thanks. I was trying to paint them and not have to do it again for a few weeks, so I thought I'll do green. That'll go Thanksgiving, and then we can move it for Christmas until I go red. So that was my thought process on the green, because I wouldn't have to change them for a couple of weeks that way. Well, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Purple. But purple is a good fall color, too. So that goes through Thanksgiving. Well, I am working on what will be a wall hanging. And I'm going to move my camera for just a sec so you can kind of see. It's going to be Saint Nick, and he's got some little sheep. And I'm doing this with yarn and punch. Thank you. And if you ever watch the tufting that people do with the electric gun that goes in, they have the big frames and they do their rugs, and they're using the electric tuffer that runs the yarn through it. I'm doing the exact same thing. I have all the tufting stuff. I'm doing the exact same thing, but manually, which is a much slower process. But it's easy on my frame, and I can sit here and um, just punch this in. So I'm working on the back side. So that will be the other thing. When we turn it over, it's much taller, and the loops are all on the other side, so you're seeing the back. So I'm not giving any advice, but I definitely, when my hands are bothering me, because I crochet, I knit, I do this, everything I do is my head is down and it's something at my hands. But I definitely increase my D3 when I'm doing that. I'm not getting advice, but it works for me, and helps with my hands. Thank you, Duchess Nat. I appreciate that. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, and this is called an Oxford punch needle. And if you know anything about Russian punch, which is the much thinner, um, what do I want to call it, thread that they use, like for cross stitch, um, it's kind of like those needles. You feed through that. Oh yes, you need to get into more crafts. I agree, Whitney. It's like I need one more craft. I have plenty, but I was talking to someone the other day, and I said, if I get burned out on one, then I've got other ones I can move to. I'm never without a craft. Never. And I sit still better if my hands are busy. So I'm going to use this as my other color on that. You definitely want to learn to knit and eventually Tunisian crochet. Tunisian crochet is really cool. I have not tried that. That's probably the only crochet I haven't done. What are you working on right now? What'd you work on stream? She has all the crafts. Who has all the crafts? Toy Rodeo. Stop that. Quit tattling. I don't have all the crafts, although I do quite a few. I do resin. I do crochet. My favorite crochet is uh, mosaic crochet. Um, I really enjoy that. I like how a picture comes out of whatever I'm making. So you were making bear coasters, and you finished a witch hat recently. Whatever. I love mosaic. To me, that is so much fun. I do mosaic on stream. Um, I learned to knit before I learned to crochet. So, and of course, I taught myself on all of them on YouTube. What would we do without being able to learn? But with knitting, it's really funny. I can hold my yarn in my left hand and feed it through for crochet, but I cannot hold my yarn in my left hand to knit. I have to hold it in my right hand. So that is the weirdest thing for me, but I'm glad I learned to knit first. People used to try to teach me to knit, and they want to force you. Necro, hi. Part of the Whitney raid. I love it. I love it. Well, y'all are all so very welcome here. I thank you for the follow, Mothbart. And do you laugh every time somebody says your name? Because I'm smiling over here, even though you can't see me. Yes, YouTube is a lifesaver. You can go on there and just find anything, can't you? So I did teach myself to knit that way. People had always forced me to hold my yarn in my left hand. I couldn't do it. I gave up every time. And I finally was watching somebody on YouTube, and I went, wait a minute. Wait, she's holding her yarn in her right hand. And as soon as I realized that was okay, I was gone. I could knit, and I didn't stop. But the reason I with you got into punch needle embroidery, but with beads, and you really enjoyed it. I have not tried beads. Do you have to have a different tool? Because I know when I knit, I have a little bead threader thing that I use. You realized you were non-binary and wanted to change your name in real life, and you love the name Moth, so I picked it, and Moth Bart wasn't taken anywhere pretty much. Well, okay. I think that's great. I just chuckle when I just smile every time I say it, though. You make me smile. Barts will be funny forever. That is my husband. You put him in front of, so Toy Rody, if y'all haven't figured, is my husband, and see, he just give him a movie that has bodily function thingies in it, and he is just about to fall off the couch. Oh, once you started chemo, your vision became awful. I'm sorry. Moth does the fun arts and farts. Okay, so out of all of you that came in, who are streamers, so that I can follow. Oh, you like to do animation. That's cool. Yeah, speak up, people. Speak up, speak up. Okay, cool. So I will. See, I can just do this right here. Cool. All right. Well, we just followed there. So for punch needling, you use something similar to what you use, but the beads go before you do the second punch. Oh, before you close the loop. Very cool. And Whitney, you started a weighted crochet blanket with pony beads. Yeah, neglected it so fast. Yeah, some of mine have to go in timeout. It is, you know, but then that's when I move on to another craft. That way, that one can go in timeout and I can do something else. So yeah, that was my daughter who is the one, and I said, just don't worry about it. But I appreciate that. I probably do have some questions, but my daughter was over here trying to help me do a few things because we knew I was about to hit affiliate, and you know, oh, that's sweet. Thank you so much. Um, so much of your projects end up in the forgotten lands. Well, I try. What I do is I do start a lot of projects, especially probably more knitting projects because I'll get going on it and then I'll decide, oh, I don't like that yarn or I don't like that pattern or I don't like the way the stitch is coming out. And so those go in timeout, and then um, I will end up um, probably usually tearing them back out or deconstructing them. Um, but I may leave something for a year and then I'll start coming back and and then I'll go through and go, okay, no, really, I would never touch that, or you know. So I understand those timed out ones and um, ones that need to go away for good. And I think we've got ads getting ready to start up, so just to let you know. But I'm just working on these little leaves and finishing putting those in. But I do have a lot, and then if you follow my Insta or my Facebook, I tell y'all what I'm going to work on that day. And why did I go so blurry? What I'm working on that day and what time I'm live, although I do have a schedule and I do try to keep it. So if y'all are ever interested, you can check out one of those and they'll tell you exactly what I'm going to work on that day. My camera is not wanting to behave. I think it picked up. We've been working on king size. Now, I have not done corner to corner on and off for 3 years, but you sit down for months at a time, it's already on the decrease. So that's, oh, yeah, so you're already over halfway done. Yeah, I have not done corner to corner. You stream when you feel like it, and chat is always wild. That's fun. Yeah, I probably am a little OCD, so I keep organized. Um, See, graphicans are almost kind of like mosaic, right? You end up with that um, picture. Okay, good. Well, that's why I keep my notifications on for those that have no schedule, and then it will tell me when someone's live. So that's good. So, are most of y'all from the US or out of country? Well, get some rest, Duchess. Nat, thanks for coming in and rating. I appreciate it. And I hope you get some great rest tonight. Oh, Whitney, so am I. Yeah, I'm in North Texas. In fact, we finally have had to turn our heat on. We got a little cold front. And then we're supposed to have 80s again tomorrow, and then finally it's supposed to start cooling down a little bit. Yeah. We're in that time where it's hard to justify turning on the heat when you know you're going to need the air. So I'm just, I know, swapping back and forth, it gets frustrating. Or I just won't turn the heat on yet, and then, my husband walks around like I'm freezing him out of the entire house. But you can always layer. So do you predominantly crochet then when you're on stream, or do you do any of your other crafts? Oh, so you were a gamer too. Yeah, I'm not a great gamer. I have finished Hogwarts or Legacy or whatever that is. I have finished that 3 times, so I'm very proud of myself. My husband's always been a gamer. My daughter's a gamer. My son-in-law's a gamer. For me, my brain is not really wired that way. Now, I did. So my husband got me to play Elden Ring, so I did do that. Of course, I ran around in one area for, days to beef up, but then when I could swing things and kill it pretty easily, I had fun. Hello, Humor. Loud Shiny, I didn't say thank you for the follow. Or Duchess Snatch, she went to sleep. Well, I I don't think I would say very nice things, Mothbart. If I played online, it probably would. Although people would probably absolutely be laughing their heads off at me, or I would make y'all all really sick. Like there's some things that I cannot play. I mean, that my husband cannot watch me play because it makes him sick. So, sometimes it's really bad, but it would be entertaining. Humor, I'm good. How are you? Y'all were doing serious rocket science. Oh, that's bad. So my husband can quilt, and I tried quilting, and I cannot. I can do English paper piecing. You're a crafty grandma that cusses the heck at video games, and people enjoy the heck out of it. That's awesome. So you stream too, Humor? Well, I appreciate you helping, but oh, good. Okay, I will go follow you. Um, but I usually have it on while I'm doing whatever I'm doing, right? So it's just like the company and the you know. Oh, strep. Oh, oh, I get that at least once a year. I still have my tonsils, but and so they never got taken out. We moved too much. So just a side note is, um, so when I was little, my father, well, and before I was born, my father was a DJ and a newscaster. But when he worked for, if you've ever watched the movie Friday Night Lights, that's about Odessa, Texas football, my dad was one of the play callers in the stadium for that because he worked for the news at that time. But um, so I moved around so much because what would happen is my dad would be there so he was top 40, and the company would buy a radio station, and they would move my dad in to be the morning DJ to get the ratings up. So we moved quite a bit, and back then you didn't move with your medical records. So every time I moved, they'd have to have so many documented cases from that doctor of strep before I could get my tonsils out or tonsillitis. And we just kept moving, and I never got my tonsils out. So it is, we blame my parents, but that's all right. Okay, well, I got him all done, and I am going to take him off and move him up a little so we can get to the bottom down here. Yeah, I'm very pleased with the way he is turning out. So, so my frame has um, they're like carpet tacks. Let me show you. I can move it a little bit. You can see the carpet tacks up there, and that is how we attached this. So that's why I keep these heavy covers on, because I will have puncture marks all the time. So we're just going to, and you'll be able to see my sheep a little better too. There we go. So what we'll do, oh, his beard's hung. I'm going to move it up, and we're going to bring him, feed him up that far, and then we're going to finish his hands and his jacket. So we'll just move him up, fold that over, and just like with cross stitch or any of that, you just pull tight. And let me get my cover back on. So depending on what you're going to do with them, if he were for the floor, then which is really what I'm doing anyway, because I wasn't sure if I was going to put him on the floor or on the wall. But if I want to use him on the floor, because he is all punched out of wool, all the yarn is wool yarn, I can put him on the floor. If you're going to use something that's not wool, sparkly yarn, eyelash yarn, anything to give it some bling, which I've done. I just finished 2 things that were made, I did with velvet. And so this is the back, and you do not have to back it. There's nothing you have to do, because you're pulling your loops and you're pulling your ends through to the front. That's why you'll see me stick it and it'll sit there for a minute, because I'm reaching down from the underside and pulling my ends out to the top, so they won't work their way out. And the edges are all you'll have to do. Is you can cut them, you can roll them and bind them with a whip stitch all the way around, but they hold up well. In fact, let me grab, I'll show you a couple. So this one I do use on the floor. That's the front of it. And then the back will have areas that don't look completely covered. So when you see right here, you can see where there's some areas, but on the front you'll never see that. You see the white, but on the front it's all done. And then on this one, because it goes on the floor, you don't have to do anything with it, but on the edge, what I did was I trimmed my fabric, and then I rolled it up around a cord. So there's a cord here, and then I whip stitched the ends. That way, if you're putting it on the floor, if you've ever looked at any of your throw rugs where you walk across them all the time, or like I have one in my kitchen that, because we cut across, you're always hitting that same spot and they start to wear. If they have a binding on them like this, then even when you're hitting it all the time and you wear that, you're not wearing the actual rug, you're wearing the binding, and you can always re-whip stitch and re-bind. So if I'm going to put it on the floor, that's what I'm going to do. But then I designed this pattern let me just move my camera a little bit. So I designed this pattern, but this is all punched in velvet. So this is the front side. Oh no, wait. See, I almost can't tell the difference. Yeah, this is the front side. This is the back side. Thank you. And this is all in velvet. So you wouldn't want to put this on the floor. And I haven't finished trimming this one up, so you can see all the little, let me show you. You can see all the tails that are still sticking up. See, it's not flat. You can see because I've pulled them around to the front. So I did this one to hang on a wall opposite of this one. So those are, you know, two to put in for fall. Thanks, Humor, for the very, yeah, I did like going with the darker because I'm going to use this fun color. I picked this up when I was in Ireland, but it's got all these little flecks. And I thought that would look really good on the heels. And like it has little dots of flowers. So I didn't want to go so light on his leaves because of that. So that's what I'm going to do there. And then this one I did the opposite. This is in velvet also, and I have not cleaned any of these up, which is why you can't really tell the design, because once you punch it, there is some more work that has to be done. But I did these to opposite each other to hang in my living room for winter. So that's part of why I love streaming, is because it makes me get things done. Oh, I just made a mess. But that's, if I'm going to do it on the wall, you can either you can put it in a frame, which, let me see if I have, I don't know that I have, let's see real quick if it'll flip through. So this one right here, I did for a book, and it is in a frame without glass. Oh, I don't know what that. So then, but most of them I will wrap. I'll just take canvas and wrap it around the canvas, and then staple it to the back and that's the easiest if I still want it for the wall. Yeah, and they're very sturdy. I mean, you know, it's wool. Um, but like I said, if you're going to use velvet or one of those things, you're just not going to put it on the floor because it won't hold up. Now, if you were doing it in maybe a bathroom, where you know it's going to be around water, then you can use cotton. Cotton would be good, but um, if it's going to get a lot of wear and tear, you want it to be wool. And if you're going to work that hard on it, you're going to want to you know, have it where it holds up and stays. And so that's part of, you know, the legacy of it, if you want that. Yes, hand washed. Some people actually take theirs out. Not that we would get snow, but when they get snow, they just wash the whole thing, you know, on clean snow and then bring it back in and let it dry. But yeah, you'd want to be really careful. But I started down this whole entire journey because I knit for so long, and I had all of this, you know, it wouldn't take a whole skein of yarn to do whatever I was doing, right? You'd always end up with these little, you know, leftover balls. And I wouldn't throw them away because I kept going, I can do something with this, I'm sure. And um, I went to a craft or a uh, wool event in Kentucky, and somebody was doing was using their punch needle, and I was like, okay, that's brilliant, and I have so much leftover yarn. Now they didn't stop me from buying a whole bunch of new yarn, but anyway, the idea was that I was gonna um, use my leftover yarn. That was the plan. So on his hat, let me put it back down here for just a second. So on his hat right here, I wanted it to look a little more like fur. And so I am putting two yarns together. And that's what I'm going to do also down here on his cuff. And then, so what I'm using is these two. And then if you look at this one, which is what I'm using for his coat and the top of his hat, it has both of those colors in it. So it picks up all those colors. Adds again. All right. So today is my first affiliate day, so the ads are all a whole new thing. So I'm getting used to watching for that, but it's a lot of work watching all this stuff and doing. But oh, and then so I'm using two colors to do the mittens, and they blend with this. And this is what I'm using for the jacket. Excuse me. Hello. And then I'm using these for the holly leaves. And I'm moving all of this because, there we go. All right, you're fine now. I have a visitor. Let me turn his camera on. Stop. Do you want me to turn your camera on? You have to let me. You have to let me. Okay. Hey, 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 hey. This is Binks. Yes, this is my first affiliate stream. And this is Binks. Binks is probably looking for his supper, but are you going to sit down and be pretty? Are you going to sit down and be pretty? Yeah. Are you? Are you? Yeah. Well, you can't get on here. Hey, 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 hey. Come on, back over here. Oh, back over here. Right there. Right there. Hey, stop, please. Oh, now he's gonna. Yeah, you're pretty cute. You want some treats, or do you want Dad to get you supper? Oh, you have supper. Here, come here. You want that? Look right there. Yeah, there we go. It's supper time. Nope, he's good. He's good. Yeah, right there. Okay, so is that all you're gonna eat? Just that little bit? All right, so right here, I'm gonna do a cuff. All of this is cuff. Okay, I'll cover it. Thank you. Thank you. You wanna lay down? You wanna show him your blue eyes? You wanna come say hi and show him your blue eyes? I guess he's leaving. He's leaving now. He has made his appearance. He has a blanket and a heating pad back here, so he likes laying on that. All right, so let me adjust my camera one more time. Sorry, look away. There we go. So this is going to be the same fur cuff as in the up there in the hat. So what I'm going to do at first is just go all the way around. I don't know, did you feel overwhelmed when you first started? Because, oh my word, there's so much. Okay, thank you. You don't need that either. So when you get to the border, you're going to want to just make sure you go really slow because you're trying to make that straight line. So then you know it'll be straight when you go to frame it or whatever you're trying to do. So I always go really slow right there. Okay, thanks. Thanks so much for the raid, Whitney, and for your your notes that you keep up with and all of that. That's how I ended up doing my Nightbot. And I really, really appreciate everything. Have a good evening. Oops, sorry, people. When I'm pulling up my yarn, when I'm yanking it, I'll raise my arm really high and I hit the edge of the uh, thing, the stand holding my camera. I know I'm making people sick. So what happens when I get into the center of a big area, because it can become very mindless and you're just going along down the line, I try to go in and do these little, what I call these little higgly piggly lines. And what it does is it just reminds me not to go in a row. And I think I've hit a knot somewhere in my yarn because it's not feeding through. So I just kind of go and divide this into sections before I do anything else, just to kind of make myself remember not to just get mindless and go straight up and down, because you can see that in the punching. And so if you want direction, if you want people's eye to follow a certain thing, then you can, you know, definitely go in that direction, and your eyes will follow that. If you're not wanting somebody's eye to immediately go to a certain area, then you're not going to want that directional, right? So I try to um, make sure that these kind of things that are big repeat areas, like this will be, you know, all of this, instead of just going straight up and down, I try to divide that so that I don't just mindlessly do that, because then people's eye, now in this one, people's eyes are going to go here anyway, because I did the beard up and down, because we know hair grows this way, other than some of the squigglies. But um, your eye would go to this first, because that's that directional and it pops. So I try to do um, what's called higgly piggly, just kind of keep myself from mindlessly doing that. So what I'll do is um, and it goes really smooth as long as you've got enough feed. But if, so let's say like right here, I don't know if y'all can see, but this isn't punched into anything. It's just loose and I can stick my finger under it. Well, that's because somewhere either I was holding too tight, it got stuck under my arm, it got wrapped around something, my scissors got put on top of it, and so it can't feed down in there, so it just keeps going straight. So if you have that problem, if you ever try this and you've got this, it's because it's tangled somewhere. Just look to see where it's tangled, and that will stop that from happening. And then you just keep going until you're done painting with your yarn. And what I do is I leave my hook all the way down in there. It's punched through to the other side. I reach under with my other hand, hold on to that yarn, and I cut it on this side, and then my tail is always already on the front, and I don't have to do that later. Some people leave their tails up. On this end, they'll go like this, and they'll put it in and leave that up, and then just keep punching. But you have to weave all those in later, so I don't see any reason to do that. So I just, and I can spin my, they tell you to punch in a certain way. I spin mine especially if I'm using two colors, because if I spin it, you can see one color will show up on the top and one won't. That's what I'm seeing. And so I can change that out as much as I want to by just twisting my needle to punch a certain way at a time. But other than that, you're just painting with yarn, and it's really simple. And it's a great way to use up old yarn or yarn that you've got sitting around because you were crocheting or knitting and have all this extra. And after a while, you'll get to where you can hear that the yarn is starting to pull. I just keep a little trash can beside me for all the little things, but wait till you see the other side. It's got all kinds of it looks like a hot mess at the moment because all these tails that I've pulled through, they're just hanging there. I'll need to cut all those off when I'm on that other side. And then when you get on the other side, it's not quite as clear and concise as you can see it here because this is very low pile. The other side is going to be higher pile, and so sometimes you have to kind of clean those up a little bit. So where you see, if you watch the tufting where they come through with their clippers and they kind of shave that out, you have to kind of do that with this, except not quite so aggressively. And if you look at their stuff, theirs is more bigger areas without a lot of definition, right? They do a lot of large areas with one color, and then so that way it's easier to clean up and do. Now I'm doing a mermaid that I'm actually punching her. So I'm doing everything from the back, but on her tail, do I have her sitting right here? I do. Let me get her. On her tail, I needed to hook it. So what I did, because you draw on the back, so because I drew it on the back, so here's my mermaid. She goes this way. She's diving down. And I drew her on the back, but I wanted to use traditional rug hooking methods for her scales because I had this really shiny material that I wanted to use. So I outlined her scales by punching, and then because you hook from the front, I then flipped it over, did all of the hooking that I wanted to do on her, and it's in this really metallic-y, shimmery wool. And so now that I've got her tail done, I will come back in on the other side and do all of the punching. So sometimes I do a little bit of both, and that's the way you get around that. All right, so I have this cuff done that matches the cuff of the hat, or what, the brim of the hat, I guess is what we would call it. And then I just need to check. So here's a holly leaf. And there's a leaf, and there's a leaf. So this is his cuff on this side. He has his hands together here. So I'm going to go this way. And like I said, when you get right here to the edge, you need to go really slowly to make sure you're doing a straight line. And you can tell that by the squares, the weaving. All right. So now we've got those two areas done. And I think that should do it for his fur. But what I think I'm going to do real quick is outline his hands right here so that we can tell where one starts and where the other ends. If we're using the same color, this would all just blend together. So I'm going to take this charcoal gray that's kind of in his beard, and I'm going to use that to just divide his hands so that we can tell that that's Maybe it'll look kind of like a little bit of a shadow. Just come around here. And I'm just going to do one thin layer. I don't want it to really show. I just want your eye to actually see that there's some shape right here. If I really wanted definition, then I would outline it a couple of times to make that look really thick. But I just want the idea of it. All right, so that is really just one hand. All right, so that's all I'm gonna do right there. And then for his jacket and his gloves, this color that I did punch in with the gold here, that is going to be my shadowing color. So I'm going to shadow with it. I'm going to just take it on the same line right here. All right, so I'm just shadowing there. It's just going to give us some shadowing effects. And I'm just going to put a few lines in a couple of places. So his jacket's going to go all the way to this edge, and then it's going to be on this side. So I'm just going to put in a few lines just to give it some shadow that I'll go around with the other one. Now, because I want this to show up a little darker, I am going to punch it a second time and go up beside that first one to make that a little thicker. This will just kind of give it some texture, right, and some movement. Oh, I just pulled it out of the thingy. Then I'm going to come up on this side. All right, maybe one more coming over here by the mittens. And I might just run that one right off this edge, and so we'll make sure that we get this all done right there. Okay, so that one's coming right up to the edge of the cuff. And so we have to look here. So here's this shoulder here that goes to the sheep's ear. So we've got a shoulder here, and then there's a holly leaf. So this is all him right in here. So I think, oh, I'm tangled. There we go. I think what I will do is I am going to make his shoulder darker right here, since this is, he's leaning in to the sheep. Okay. So I'm going to come down this way there. And I'll stop right there where the holly leaf is. Oh, you know what? I am going to go ahead and go back up. I'm sorry. I'm going to make this a little thicker. Maybe. Okay. So that's his shoulder. Let's just kind of put one in right here. Right? There's no rhyme or reason. We can do what we want. Maybe though, there's a little bit of shadow right here. Right down this little sheepy's nose. And I'm going to do a really thin one there. So I'm not going to do two. And then maybe under here. And let's put something here. And give me just 1 second. I will be right back. All right, I think I will follow, whoops, I'm going to follow this holly leaf and then go just a little bit past that. And then we'll take that one back and do that a little thicker. And now I think I'm done with this color. All right, so I'm going to set that one back aside. And now we should just be able to finish out his jacket and his mitten with this color. All right, so I am going to go down his shoulder and then down the edge of the um, where this rug will end, or the edge of it, and make sure my edge is straight. So let me see if you can see what I'm doing. You cannot, so I'm going to move you. Right, and then I'm just going to go slowly down this line, and it should, if I eyeballed it correctly, match up to where I did this one down here. So this is the only place you really have to focus and pay attention, because you don't want your edge to be wonky. And not everybody draws their lines correctly, so go by the weave of the fabric and not by their line that they drew. But if you look, I am perfect. It's matched up exactly. Now I've got my fabric pulled tight, so sometimes it's wonky too, and that may make it look wonky, but if you follow that weave, then you're not going to have a problem at all. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. And now my edge is shoring up all the way around. I think what I'll do is go ahead and do this edge too. Now, if I'm doing something like like that tree that I did, or the pumpkin, and all of my outside is going to be the same, then I usually do my line or my edges first. But not if um, not if I have something extra, because then I don't want any other color to, like, I wouldn't go around this with a black or something, right? Unless I was going to frame it in a black frame, then I might not mind doing that. But this ends where he does, so the colors are all, there's not one color going all the way around the frame. Oh, and I just pulled it out of my thing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and outline. Well, hello. How are you? Hey, 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 hey. What's going on? Do you want your camera on? Would you like to be in the spotlight, my baby? You want to lay down right there? Don't lay on the scissors. That will hurt. You can lay right there? You can. Yes, you can. You can lay right there. That's mine. Excuse me. Excuse me. What you doing? No, no, no. We're not sitting right there. Come on. Oh, right there. Sit right there. Sit right here. You need treats in your bowl? Okay, okay, thank you. You want treats in your bowl? Here you go. There you go. Well, guess we're done with that. He's coming to you. All right, so just outlining this, but I went ahead and cut over because I don't want to keep going in just a straight line again. So we had that conversation won't go, so I won't repeat it, but sorry. Sorry, sorry, sorry. All right. We're back from the ad break, it looks like. Oh, sorry, I'm sure that was very loud. All right. I'm going to finish his mitten, and then I will pull it off my frame and we'll flip it over so y'all can see what a mess it is on the other side. And then that will do it for me tonight, I think. I don't know about y'all, but my eyes start to get a little tired after a while. Alright, so I am going to, once again, kind of just go around and break this up into little pieces. Otherwise, see, I will just start going round and round and round. This is such a pretty color. Wish I could see it close up. Alright, so I'm gonna finish this little hole right here. And then I'm going to take it off the frame and flip it over. But before I do that, whoops. Alright, I am going to take a picture of it real quick. Okay. Put that back. Now let me take my magnet off of there. Ooh, that's dangerous. Right. I am going to take him real quick. And I am going to move him and why is this frozen? Alright, well it looks like I am having technical difficulties. And yeah. Well, alrighty, well, apparently I am having some kind of frozen difficulty here. So, let me check my camera real quick. Give me just a second. Okay, well. Ha! I am like frozen, frozen, frozen. And I am frozen in both things. So, I've refreshed. That didn't work. Um, Very bizarre. All right, well, I apologize for the freeze frame here. I don't know why it is doing that, but I am completely locked up. So I'm going to just hit end stream and see if that will release it. Thank y'all so much for those that rated, followed, and were willing to hang out with me this long. Um, I appreciate it. I'm not going to work on Santa again until Monday, so you're not going to miss anything. And Tuesday, I'll be working on my mermaid next Tuesday. Tomorrow, I think I am Wednesday. I will be working on my mosaic crochet train, speedy train blanket. So if you want to come out and hang out with me then, that would be wonderful. If not, have a great holiday. If I don't get to talk to you before then, for those in the US, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving week. But I will be on, and I am going to be on at some point on Thursday. If you follow my social medias, it will tell you, or if you're following me here, you'll get a notification. And I hope to see all of y'all very soon. Thank you so much again.